Hello again everyone and welcome to another Halloween video. I promise this is the last one this year. Today we are comparing last year's mural with this year's mural. We're also going to go over a few mistakes that I made with this year's mural that I can see at least at this point. Maybe next year when I have more of an eye for design because I've improved, I'll see a little more, but I have a few minor things this year that I should have fixed. But there's always room for improvement, so I always look for it and I always try to improve to see if I fixed all the mistakes that I had with last year. As promised, I'm also going to show you some footage from the night of Trick or Treat, where the mural was the star. I actually filmed a bit of a vlog of the night, of myself kind of reacting to what other people were saying and whatever was going on, so that's going to be part of the video as well. But I also took a lot of footage of the mural in different times of the day that day with all the decorations that I had out, so you'll see that. Anyway, this is a long video and I'm trying not to take up too much of your time, so let's get started. First, really quickly, I want to thank my 10 subscribers to this channel. It doesn't seem like a lot, but to me it is. And it's helping me unlock things in YouTube, so the more subscribers I get, the more flexibility I have with this channel and I can do more. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you really do enjoy my content, please do. Another thing I want to say, in case you didn't already know, I can't actually see who's subscribed to my channel, so it's not like even if I know you in real life or you're worried about me finding you or something, I can't actually see anyone's name or anything, so if that's what's stopping you from subscribing, don't let it stop you. So anyway, let's get to the comparison between last year's mural and this year's mural. So the first problem I had with last year's mural was that the main lettering was too small. So it said the same thing, it said Happy Halloween, but you can see it didn't take up very much of that big window that I have. So it was kind of a problem for many reasons. One of them was design-wise, it looked kind of ridiculous because it was so small, but also you could barely see it, and that was partially because of another flaw that I have later on where I did the lettering on the inside rather than the outside, but also because it was small. So that was easy to fix. All I did was make Halloween the entire length of the window and then make Happy, probably half as much above it. Definitely much bigger. Looks better overall with the design, and you can see it from the street. It's great. The next flaw I had was, in this particular mural from last year, I had the ghost saying boo, the big ghost that was coming through the window, and the boo was too close to Happy Halloween. Those were the only two things on the mural that were letters, and they were right next to each other. So the main issue with this is contrast in overall design. I should have had the boo somewhere else. I went over this in my video for last year's mural. But it was real easy to fix this year because I didn't have any other lettering on the mural anywhere. Didn't have to worry about there being two different phrases that were kind of separate things that were right next to each other. But as I said, the main thing was the contrast in the overall design. And I think I improved that with the things that were drawn as well, not just the letters. So I tried to make contrast in the overall design with color, with different elements, things that were drawn, rather than having things too close together or the same color next to each other. The next flaw was that it was very difficult to see anything last year on my mural. And we went over this. It was partially because Happy Halloween and a lot of the other things on the mural were very small, but a lot of them were also painted only on the inside, like Happy Halloween, and most of the right-hand side of the window, which is something we're going to talk about in just a minute, was all on the inside and not on the outside. And because our windows in particular are very reflective, even when you were up close to the mural like this picture is, you could barely see anything. So this year I made sure that I made most of the main things on the outside and then had all the accent stuff on the inside. Like I had the 3D for the lettering on the inside, I had the inside of the pumpkins on the inside, and then I had the web from the spider on the inside, and then half the spider. Because the spider was coming through the window, sort of, just like the ghost was last year. And so part of the spider was on the outside, but part of it was on the inside. But most of the main things were on the outside, so they were easy to see. Like the reflective part of the glass isn't over that, so you can see it very well. What I want to go over about the side window on the right is that spot in particular on our porch doesn't get much natural light to begin with because of the way the building is shaped and the awning above it and the roof. Like, you don't get much light there anyway. And the porch light that we have is actually above the left-hand side of the window, the left side window. And it doesn't reach over to that side. So especially at night, it was very hard to see that window. And last year, that window in particular had barely anything on the outside. The only thing on the outside was the witch that was in front of the moon. So I had to make sure this year to definitely fix that because I knew that was a problem last year because the lighting over there is horrible. So the last design flaw last year was that the overall design of the entire mural was too chaotic. There was too much going on. There wasn't a lot of cohesion with all the different elements. And the other thing, this is kind of the opposite of chaos, I guess, but as you can see on the left side there, like everything is black over there. And mostly on the right side, everything's mostly white. So there wasn't a lot of contrast as we went through with the design flaw number 2. And that was a problem. This year, the design overall is cohesive. Like, particularly the side windows are both spider themed. And the things on the spider web are all different, but they're all stuck in the web the same way. Like the spider caught all these little Halloween things and caught them in the web. And I was originally going to have the web go across the middle window as well to kind of reiterate that point where it's like the entire thing is the same. I just thought that looked a little too chaotic. That's why I didn't do it. But, you know, all of these, there isn't like a lot of things going on. Like there isn't like a witch and then a graveyard and then like ghosts and bats and trees. There isn't all these things. It's just the spider and the web, and then the main window is the Happy Halloween and a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns. That's it. You know, there wasn't too much going on. So overall, the design flowed better together. And I also want to say that I tried to keep everything within its own space, going back to design flaw number 2 again. Everything had its own designated space, and nothing's really encroaching on the other things. Like everyone had their little bubble, which is good. Now, a few things I wanted to point out that I should have worked better on this year. First of all, the O and the W in Halloween, they're a little wonky and wiggly and not drawn well. And I could have worked better on that, particularly the W, because that was all straight lines as well with the rest of the letters. The only problem with the W is trying to get the angles right, and I didn't measure anything. I should have. So that was something I could have worked a little harder on to get it to look a little better. The O was even more of a challenge because it's all curves. And if you're making it at that size, it's a little hard to kind of get your arm to go exactly the right shape at that size. And it's certainly not something I've mastered. So, and then the other thing too was because the letters are white, orange, and yellow, 3 different colors, it was hard to connect, you know, the top to the middle and the bottom correctly, especially on the O. And it was hard even to try to fix it afterwards because it's not really a straight line. So you have to be very careful about the way you're fixing it. So that's why it turned out a little weird. I think because I don't know how to do the oval in that capacity, I guess. I probably next time I have to make an O or something else that has a curve in like that. I will probably make a template, like cut out an oval that I can put on the outside so I can trace it, so I can make it better. Especially if I'm going to do something like color blocking with the 3 different colors. So that's something I could have done and will do next time probably, unless I become way better at making ovals. We'll see. Big ovals. Next thing was this spider over here. You can kind of see it in this picture. If you've seen other pictures of the mural, I'm sure you've noticed it. The body that's on the inside of the window, up at the top there, you can kind of see the paint marker seemed like it was running out or something. Like the first coat I did is not really full. And I did try at one point to try to do another coat on it, but it wasn't quite dry yet. And all it was doing when I was doing that was taking away the first coat and then just putting another first coat on. Like I wasn't adding anything to it. So I always said to myself, I'll fix that another day. And I never did. Even like the day of trick or treat, I was like, yeah, I'll for sure do it that day so it looks good when people are coming up to the house. And I still never did. So that was something I could have fixed, but I didn't. That was pure laziness on my part. And the last thing was that these pumpkins here, these two on the right-hand side, they're the same color. And that's because, and I wanted like alternating oranges. I didn't want two of the same orange next to each other. And that happened because of the problem I had with the first paint marker I used on that pumpkin, that taller one, that's the second one from the right. I used the marker that wasn't that great. And I should have tested the marker for one thing firsthand to see if it would work. And I didn't do that. So I had done all the pumpkins and then I went to erase that one. And then there was another one done with the same color, but then I was able to fix that one properly. This one, I could have actually used that one color orange. That's the one that's right next to these two pumpkins on the left. I could have put that one in there again. I'm not sure why I didn't. Maybe I just didn't see it that day. But anyway, I could have fixed that better so that there wasn't two of the same oranges next to each other, which is what I originally was going for, was not having those. I just at the time was kind of like, well, it's fine. They have different color stems. They have different color insides. They'll be fine. And it was fine. It's just something that I could have done better. So those are my areas of improvement. Again, maybe next year when I look back at this, I will see a little more that I should have done. Of course, overall, I could say I could get better at drawing things because, again, lettering is really what I do. And I'm not, the greatest at drawing. As I said before, things with a face in particular, I'm not very good at. But again, this was mainly for trick-or-treaters coming to my house, kids. So wasn't that worried about the quality of the drawing. Anyway, I have things to look for next year when I make another Halloween mural next year. I have things that I can improve on, and it's not going to be the same design next year. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to try to do something that doesn't say Happy Halloween because I've done that twice now. We'll see what I do. I'm not sure yet. But I will take all of these flaws from 2021 and 2022 into account when I make 2023's mural next year. So now here is a view of the way the window looked on Trick or Treat. I did take a bunch of footage of this, and I told you before that I did kind of a vlog of the night, so we're going to go through that. It's not that long. I didn't film anyone else coming to my house. It's just me. So, and Chazzy. Chazzy's in it too. Assistant Chaz. You know him as. Anyway, let's get to that. You helping, Chazzy? What should I do next? Huh? Can't even see you in there. You blend in. There's your eyes. Comfortable? Half hour into a 3-hour trick or treat, and we've had one kid stop by so far. So, hopefully we get some more. Because there's a lot of candy out there and other things. Look at this. Good thing Chaz isn't here right now because he would just be going crazy. I think I see kids on the next street over. That's good. Also, my lights have been falling down. You had one job, lights. One job. You killed it during rehearsal. But the day of the performance, you're deciding to slack off. Okay, I definitely saw kids on the next street over. I think they're gonna be on their way here soon. So we'll get rid of some of this candy. That's good. Squirrel is still here. I gotta go wake up Chazzy so you can chase him away. There he goes. Going to the neighbor's yard. There you go. All right, just had an influx of kids. That's how it usually happens. They all come at once. One of the kids was like, "This is a cool house." It's like, you're darn right it's a cool house. So, they had a cute little dog with them too. Dressed up like a unicorn. These two kids came up in bikes. They know what they're doing. They're gonna make the whole neighborhood in like an hour. Anyway, the one kid was grabbing all the lemon heads. Don't tell Mr. Strush that. I did save him some on the side. He'll find out. But I'm sure there'll be some more left over in the bottom of the bowl too. But he was digging in there for all of them. It was funny. And then I had a kid dressed up as a paramedic. And then the New Berlin paramedic came up to my house and stopped and was like, "Hey, you got a cool costume." So that was kind of weird. But I keep hearing like, well, that house definitely has candy. Look at them. Because on my block, I'm like the only one that's decorated even half as much as I've decorated. So I live on a pretty quiet street, and there aren't a lot of kids on my block that I know of. Like there's one across the street, but he's older now. He doesn't even go trick-or-treating, so I don't know. All the kids are from like further out in the neighborhood, so they're finally making their way here. Oh, the paramedic kid and his mom were very impressed with my mural. They're like, "Wow, that's great. It's amazing. And you did chalk too? That's crazy." And the kid who was the kid who was grabbing all the lemon heads, he asked if I had any skeleton toys because I have these little squishy toys in there. And I found one. I feel bad. Then again, he did take all the lemon heads, so. See, I saved Mr. Strush some lemon heads. I'm a good wife. Makes up for the spiders anyway, right? I think I hear kids. I keep saying I'm gonna go out there and grab a pretzel when I'm out there with a kid out there. But I keep forgetting when I'm out there to grab a pretzel. So maybe I'll just do it. Yeah, I'm gonna just do it. Watch me, here I go. I acted like I was, fluffing it up, which I was. But did I have to go out there and do it? Maybe. But I didn't want to look like I came out there just for the pretzel, because I did. Excuse the mess. This is my assistant assisting me. You're missing trick or treat, You missed the squirrel too. Did I scare you? Did I wake you up like you wake me up? You gonna come and say hi to people? Chazzy, there was a dog that you were bigger than that was dressed up like a unicorn. You wanna see? What is that? That's your buddy, Chazzy. You missed your friend the squirrel, Chazzy. He's over there. Look at him. Oh, you see the lights on the spider? Is our house scary now? It is pretty scary. You just sniff everything. Is that your buddy? Is that your new buddy? You know, you can barely see me, but there's another round of kids coming. It's been like half hour since some showed up, so that's exciting. What? Oh, do you not like that? Am I blinding you? Well, the phone did it automatically. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I know. You want to go out? Should we go out again? You want to go out for a little bit? Okay. Thanks, Jazzy. Getting in my shot. I have to do my selfies from back here now because even though you can barely see me here, you really couldn't see me over by the door. But what I was going to say is we have like an hour left, which is usually the slowest hour. And it's been pretty slow both the hours before this. So we'll see if we get any more kids. But I am going to get those nighttime shots. I just got some like dusk ones for at least the porch area. But I want to get like the full walkthrough in the dark again too. So I'll go out there and do that. Me and Chazzy went out 2 or 3 times now because he wanted to go see. I'm sure you saw that because I did take some footage. But I didn't always take footage. He was being nosy as usual, you know. About time he does something. Just laying there before. Now he's resting. Maybe he'll want to go out again if I go out again. Or if there's kids that show up. We'll see. As you can see, it's starting to get dark. The color doesn't exactly show exactly what it looks like through the camera, but it's kind of neat. So I have an observation. I've had quite a few older kids, like teenager age, maybe preteen, like maybe high school, I'm not sure. Oh, it's teenager. Anyway, not all of them, but typically like the older kids that I've seen have been the ones that have been kind of greedy about the candy, because I've said to all of them, like, you can take a handful, I have a bunch, you know, take whatever you want, just not the whole bowl. I mean, that's implied. I've never had to say that yet, although what I'm getting to is those kids are the ones that are like, can I have, you know, the whole bowl? Or can I have, you know, can I just, you know, dump it all in my bag? And I'm like, can you leave some for the other kids, you know? So, just an observation. The younger kids don't get all, I want every piece of candy in here. The older kids do. Which I guess, you know, they're hungrier, maybe. But anyway, it's just my observation. I don't think it's a big deal with teenagers coming to the house and wanting candy, but that's just, you know, they've been a little more teenager-y. Which I guess makes sense, right? But anyway, the younger kids have been very polite for the most part. And I think we're down to like the last, almost, we're down to the last 40 minutes. I was going to say half hour. And I don't know if we're going to have many more come through. Like those two were older kids because it's starting to get dark. And I am going to have, pretty soon, I might go out there now because it's starting to get really dark. Go out there and get some nighttime vision of my stuff all put together. Footage, I guess. Footage of the stuff. all put together at night. So I think I might do that now. Oh, I almost scared the last girl that came through, the one who asked if she could have the whole bowl, which was kind of pre-karma. Because I opened the door and she's like, oh, and I was like, oh, sorry. Feel free to grab a handful. And she's like, can I have the whole bowl? I'm like, no. But anyway, that's how that's been going. So I think I'm gonna go get my footage now. Back in the hallway again. All right, so I got the dark shots outside. Started bringing some of the stuff in because some of it you can't even see anymore. Haven't had any kids since those two teenagers. I was gonna say though, I think the one that was like, oh, can I have the whole bowl? I think she said she liked, or it was pretty. She liked my window or something. Like, I don't think she said window, but she said, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was her. So, I don't know. She said a nice thing and then she wanted to take all my candy. I don't know, but she did say something about it. It was either her or the girl who was with her. But I think it was her. I'm not sure. I think they both kind of said something, but I think she was the first one. Anyway, that was what I remembered. So I'm starting to take stuff down. You can barely see my trick-or-treat sign. You probably saw that in the footage if I showed it already. Otherwise, I will show it. You can see it if you look, if you know it's there. But once it gets really dark out, it's hard to see. So even with the lights around it. So might need to use some kind of fluorescent chalk or something to make it easier to see. But it's still, I'm going to leave it out there. It still works. And I don't even know if there's any more kids coming. So, but I'm going to leave it out there for now. I got like a half hour left now, or maybe it's 20 minutes. Hold on, let me see. Like 22 minutes. So my guess is there aren't going to be any more kids, but there might be. So I'm going to leave the rest of it out for now. Then I'm going to start taking things down. Like I said, I'm going to leave the mural up until Tuesday, because today's Sunday, the 30th. And the chalk, but the rest of it will come down tonight. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. Bye. Wouldn't it be nice if cleaning up was that easy? Just snap your fingers and it's clean. In reality, this took about an hour altogether to clean this off. I took all the lights down first, and then I cleaned the inside. First I started washing with water, and then I got a scraper and I scraped up the paint. On the outside, I decided just to scrape I did spray the window down with a hose first, but then I did decide just to scrape afterwards, and rather than try to scrub it off. It worked really well. It does make a mess, additional mess that you have to clean up with all the paint that comes down, but pretty easy. And then afterwards on both sides I did just wash the windows like I normally do with the window cleaner and try to find any spots that I was missing. And that's pretty much it. Now we're going to go into the deep dive of Mural for 2022. Now I'll warn you, first of all, if you haven't seen my other videos about especially 2022's mural, but also 2021, you should go watch those. I will have them in the description. I'll have a card for it as well. But if you did watch my part 1 of this year's mural for 2022, you're going to have a little bit of deja vu, because there was a little bit of footage that is in both of these videos. Promise it's not much, it's mostly new stuff. But some of this footage fit in both that video and this video. So you'll have a little bit of deja vu. You've seen a little bit of this before if you've seen that video. But both of these videos have things that are unique to them. So if you really want the whole experience, you should watch both. We're just going to go over in depth kind of my thought process of the whole thing. And I'll also say that I did have a lot of stuff that I still cut out of this that I could have put in, but this video is very long. I know it is. I apologize about that. It was very hard to cut stuff out because a lot of it felt important. And that's something I think I'm going to do something with when this, if and when this channel gets bigger and I'm able to do more things. Again, if this is something you're really interested in, you're going to want to subscribe. Hello, welcome to day 1 of Halloween Window 2022. So what I'm doing today is I am going to make guidelines so that when I do the lettering outside, I have something to work with. I'm not doing this today, but before I go outside and do the lettering, I might do like traces of the lettering in here, so I have something to kind of trace. I'm going to be doing, after I do the lettering outside, I'm going to be coming inside and doing a 3D effect for the lettering. So for the guidelines for the lettering, let's talk about the lettering first. For the lettering, I know this is actually the opposite side of the window because you're going to see it from the outside. This is the inside, so it's going to be backwards here. But I guess just imagine right now that this is the outside looking in. So I'm going to have Halloween be the entire length of the window. There'll be a little bit of a margin here, and then above Halloween I'm going to have Happy again. So it's going to say the same thing, it's just going to look differently. And Happy is going to be like an arc, maybe not that dramatic, but an arc above Halloween. And Halloween is going to be bouncy, so all the letters are going to alternate where they're bouncing up and down. I'm not sure. I think what I said was H was going to be on the bottom, and then A, L, L, O, W, E, E, N. I believe that's what I said. Now obviously it's going to take up the entire window. It didn't when I was showing it, but each of the letters is going to be, consistently the same width. So I'm going to put guidelines in for that so I know how wide they have to be. And then Happy again is going to be an arc above Halloween. Now for the 3D, the Halloween is going to be kind of like the traditional 3D that you see, like the little extrusion kind of one of the directions. Usually I go bottom left, but we'll see. We'll see what looks good. And then the Happy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Happy come kind of behind and then like this way. That's what I planned for the lettering. Thing that I didn't do last year that I wanted to was put pumpkins on the bottom here, so I'm going to be doing that, jack-o'-lanterns. So the face of the pumpkin is going to be on the outside. So when you're looking at it, you see the orange face, and then in here I'm going to do where the eyes and mouths and stuff are cut out. I'm going to do yellow paint, and then so that's for this. That's all that's going on this window is just the lettering and the pumpkins. So it's simpler than last year, but it's also more complicated because everything else is all the elements are complicated, but the design overall is simpler. On both of these, they're going to be almost the same. Both are going to have, on this side, I'm going to make a spider web. And I might also put that in the background on this window, this big window, and stretching all the way to the other one, because that would make sense. But we'll see how cluttered it is. And then everything caught in the web on the outside, and I'll have the web kind of go over all the things on the outside like it's been stuck. I'm gonna have little Halloween icons, so like little pumpkins, little ghosts, little witches' hats, and they're gonna be kind of caught in the web on both of the windows. And then on one of the windows, I'm going to have a little spider, because who put the web there? The spider, obviously. And Mr. Strush, as he requests to be called, he gave himself a nickname. He doesn't like spiders, so of course, I have to have spiders, right? Because what kind of wife am I? I have other things as well, not just spiders. So just recapping real quick, I have on both of the sides, this and this one over here that you can't see right now, it's going to be a spider web. Might also be in the background here. We'll see how it looks. One of the windows is going to have a spider on it. Both of the windows are going to have things caught in the web, like pumpkins, ghosts, witches' hats, brooms, whatever else kind of little icons I can put in there, like little Halloween trinkets, are going to be caught in the web. And then here, just Happy Halloween, and the pumpkins along the bottom. I'm going to make the guidelines today as well, so you'll see me doing that next. Okay, I've measured this before, but I always write it down somewhere and then I can't find it. So I'm going to take another measurement just to make sure I know how wide this window actually is. So it is 66 inches wide. 66. Then it is 41 3/4 tall. 66 and 41 3/4. We'll worry about the side ones later. I'm not worried about those right now. What I'm going to do is figure out the layout real quickly. Probably do the pumpkins like a third of the way. Alright, so 41 3/4. Let's give it the 3/4. I don't like those uneven things. Let's take away the 3/4. Let's do 41. So if I wanted roughly a third of that, it would be, can I do this in my head? 13 would be 39. So, like 13. Let's see what 13 looks like. That looks pretty good. Let's say 13 and 14. I'll make lines for that. So we'll do 13 and 14. Am I writing this down? I want a little bit of margin up here. I don't necessarily need a margin down here. So I have the 3/4. The 3/4 and let's say another inch. So 1 inch and 3/4 would be like the top of the arc. So for Halloween, I'm gonna want that to be another third probably. So that would be another 13 inches. But then I need to do above and below like another inch. Depends on how big I want it to bounce. Do I want to do 1.5 inches? I think I want to do 1.5 inches. So I really should write this down. Let me go write this down. You see those deer? I haven't seen the deer for a while. We have deer come through here a bunch. I thought there were dogs at first in my yard. I'm like, what are those doing there? Alright, back to where I was. Deer are gone. They moved on. Okay. Drawing my window here. 66, 41 3/4. Pumpkins are going to be 13-ish. Halloween is going to be 13. Well, it's going to be like 16. 12 leftovers. 12 for the happy. Sounds pretty good. Did I hear? I did hear him. He's awake. You missed the deer. You don't really care about the deer. He only likes squirrels. Squirrels are his thing. Where were you? Came from that way. I thought you were in the other room. Okay. So what I have here is divided into 13 for the pumpkins, 16 with all of the guidelines for Halloween, and then 12 up here for happy. And then I also have the margin up there. That's true. Okay, so let's do, we're going to change this a little bit. So we're going to go back to 12 for this. And then 2-ish for the margin. It's going to be a little less than 2. So it'll be a little more than 12. And then I need to take 2 from here, so it'll be 14. Okay, so 12, 14, I think that makes sense. And then 13 for the pumpkin. I could do 12 down here too, and then make this 15. I think that is messing me up. That's what I'll do. Okay. So 12, 15, and 12 is what I decided on. 12, 15, and 12. So, going to measure those out first. Going to get my brand new yardstick that doesn't have any information on it that I have to blur out. I got lots of new tools. See? This you've seen, but it's new since last year, the mural last year. I didn't have this. Then I have the new yardstick. It's metal, it's flexible. It's got cork on the back, which means it'll stay easier. And it's also soft, so it doesn't, you know. Then I have a level that has inches on it as well, which is great. And then I also have, because I definitely needed this last year, I have a maul stick. Because remember last year I was trying to do the lettering and I kept smearing. Now, doesn't matter which direction I go, I can, you know, do that now. I'm a muralist. I got one of these. So, maul stick. To be able to do lettering without smearing and, you know, because I was kind of holding my arm up last time. Now I can just do this. So that'll be nice. I have that. So, I'm going to measure from the bottom. I'm going to put a line at 12 inches. Which is right here. Okay. Let's do it this way so I don't mess it up. 12 inches. And then we want another 15 from there. Oh, I have to do math again. 24 would be 12. 3 more. 2, 3. Alright, now I need 12 more. Well, I'm going to have to move it anyway, so we'll do this. Oh, let's not do that. Let's do this. I like that this is flexible. It works out well. 12, 24. Okay. Okay. Maybe I should get a nice close-up of this, hey? Probably want to see a close-up. Gonna get a nice close-up of this. Alright, I'm gonna move you back now. You can see the whole process. You're probably not going to see them from back there at all. From here, the only thought I have, from here, this seems like it's down further, but when you're looking outside, you're actually standing down a step, so this is probably going to be right in your eye level. So that's why I'm like, this seems like it's really low to me, but that's because I'm on this side, not that side. So I think it's going to be okay. Plus, I'm doing it for kids, right? That's who's going to be trick-or-treating at the house. Well, there are some teenagers. So now I have to make the other lines for the lettering for the, because I think these are technically the top and bottom of like the bounciness. So I need to get the inner lines, which I think, let me just see how it looks. I think I wanted, it's 15, I wanted an inch and a half. Really what I'm going to do, I think, is, I'm not doing this today, I don't think. We'll see. I'm going to make the lettering here on the inside with a small paint marker. I'm going to do lettering in here before I go outside, so I don't need to really read the guidelines from the outside. I'm going to keep them up. We'll see how it looks. Next thing I'm going to do here is, well, I need to make that margin in between the lettering and the pumpkins. Then after I do that, I'm going to start doing figuring out what I need the widths of the letters in Halloween to be. Because I'm going to have a margin on both sides there, and then I'm going to have each letter be the same width. So I need to figure out what that is. That's going to be more math. So what I'm doing is making a margin for the pumpkins. Okay, let's see what looks good. Look good. I think that would look good because I'm not going to, all the pumpkins are going to be different sizes as well. So like the tallest ones will be up to that level. So not everyone's going to be the same margin exactly. So let's do a 1/2 inch. I just need a little bit of space in between because we don't want it running into the lettering. So, I'm going to do this again. It's actually quicker doing it this way. Just use the level. Alright, that's in. Okay, so the 66 number, which is the width, I have to figure out now. There are 9 letters in Halloween, right? Halloween. It's 9. So 63 times 9 times 7. So they'd be 7 inches each. And then I'd have 1.5 inches left over for the margin. Let's see. 1.5 inches. Yeah, that's not bad. So I'm doing that right? 1.5 inches. Another 1.5 inches is 3, and then 63, which is 9 times 7, right? Is 66. All right. So I guess that's what I'm doing. So then I need to make those lines. Alright, now I just have to make those go through these lines here for the lettering. Use the level. It's got all the different levels in it. It's fancy. Okay. So let's do the margin here first. I know you can't see anything on there, so I'm going to bring it closer. So you can kind of see this line coming up and down. It's kind of hard to see everywhere else. You see this one? Well, you can kind of see it up here. You can kind of see. So I have that 7 times for the letters, and then there's 1.5 inches on each end for the margin for the lettering. So again, we have, no, it's real hard for you to see, but we have HALLOWEEN. So that's done. One last thing I want to do is make an arc for the happy. Obviously, I don't have a giant compass, so I'm going to do something similar to a compass. We're going to see, though, how it's going to work, because I haven't actually ever done this before. I guess the question is, do I really need it to be curved? Because it's going to be like flying up from behind the lettering. Why would it be curved if it was doing, I mean, it could be curved. So maybe making it slight less of a curve like this. Again, it's hard to be able to get that. You know what I should do? Find the center. That would be 33 inches. That's the center. I could do a modified kind of arc where it's not arced at the top, but it's arced at the bottom, which would be like an arch. Why don't I think on this for a little bit, because I'm not going to be doing the lettering today anyway. So I think I'm just going to think about it. At least I'm not doing that lettering. I might do Halloween. I don't know. So I decided I'm going to do the lettering for Halloween on the inside here. I'm going to be doing it backwards here because you're going to read it from the outside, like I said, and we're going to do the actual lettering on the outside. This is just going to be the 3D part, but what I'm doing is, I think I explained this before, but I'm going to make the letters here first, then I'm going to trace them on the outside when I do the more complicated design, and then I'm going to come back in here and do like a 3D effect afterwards, but I won't have to erase that. It'll be fine where it is, I think. So I'm going to start that today. I think that's all I'm doing. We'll see how I feel after I'm done with this, but because I'm still trying to figure out the happy, I haven't figured that out yet. Once I get the Halloween on there, that'll help though. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. So no, I think I want it down first. HALLOWEEN. Yeah, I think that's the way I wanted it. This is the way I want it, not that. This. Because the L's work well this way. And these. like it. Okay. So this actually looks, you can kind of see it. Let's start back over here. So you can kind of see, I know, the reflections. Bad. Guess who's back? You heard me go outside. Okay, I'm finally working on this project a little more. Of course, I chose the coldest day we've had in a while to get the bulk of this project done. Good job. We still have our guideline lettering up here for Halloween. I haven't done the happy yet. I'm not going to do that now. I might do it later today, or I might do it after I do everything else. I'm not sure yet. What I'm doing with the lettering on the outside is I'm going to make it like candy corn. So it'll be white, orange, and yellow. Just because it's a common Halloween thing. I know a lot of people don't like candy corn. I'm ambivalent about it. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. So, but I thought that would be fun to do with the coloring. So for the lettering, I'm going to make some more guidelines in here before I start. I'm going to do like a third of the way down for these letters and a third of the way down for the top letters as well. And then, you know, divide them all into thirds, basically. So every other letter, I'm going to have to make 3 lines for, and every other letter, well, 2 lines. And every other letter the other way, I'm going to have to make separate lines because they're offset, they're bouncing. So I'm going to do that first, the guidelines, and then I'm going to go outside and do the lettering. So again, I'm not really measuring a third, I'm just kind of guesstimating. I don't even know if it's technically a third on candy corn anyway. But just so that they're consistent is all that matters. See the lines dividing in 3, not really thirds, but you know, close enough. So that when we go on the outside, I can make 3 different block colors, like candy corn. So I don't have a giant yellow, but I have a giant orange and a giant white. Well, actually I do have a giant yellow, but I'm not using that for this. And the color doesn't match up right anyway. But anyway, so I'm using Uni Posca. And I'm using, if I didn't already mention, I don't think I did, I'm using water-based markers because I'm not worried about this window getting rained on or water on it for the next couple of weeks. We have a very big awning, overhang, whatever you want to call it. So the window doesn't normally get wet. But if we didn't have this, or if I was worried about rain coming sideways, which maybe I should be, because we had a tornado warning yesterday in Wisconsin in October. But obviously nothing happened here, we were fine. But anyway, if I was worried about rain coming sideways, then I might use oil instead. But I think it'll be fine until trick or treat, which is the 30th this year in our neighborhood. So that's why I'm using water-based. Oil is pretty easy to get off of glass, but water-based is easier. But it's not as big of a deal. It's not as permanent. So oil would be fine, but using water. For the white, I'm switching to this big Sharpie. Ooh, come inside to warm up for a second, let this dry a little. Looks pretty good from in here. It's just the base coat. I have to do a top coat. And we're gonna outline everything in black anyway. So that'll all be fine tuning later. The yellow was the trickiest because it's a smaller marker. And it was actually working pretty well. It was working better in the white one I had. But also I changed the bottom third, it's not really a third, of the yellow, because when I looked up candy corn to double check, the orange is actually the biggest part. So I made the yellow smaller, kind of like the white was. And that was good anyway, because the yellow is a smaller marker. Like this started off pretty well over here. I'm gonna have to do a top coat still, but to shake it up a little more when I start again. Let's see, what else can I do while I wait? I don't know, maybe think. I mean, I could maybe make like circles down here for the pumpkins to outline them for when I draw them out there. And for the pumpkins, I'm going to do all different kinds of orange, different shades. Might be nice to have like a general shape when I go out there. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do some circles. What else can I do? Let's see. If I can figure out how I want the arc to be for happy. Because I only want it to be like a slight arc. I might just do a little arc here, here. But I don't even know if it's going to go that far. I feel like that's a little too intense. I'd rather have it like this. See, that's why it's too long. Okay, hold on. Or is it not long enough? Is that the problem? Let's see what I can do here. Can you see what I'm doing? This is the center. It's too much. It's too much. That's too much. Ooh. See, it's too much, I'm telling you. I need it to be like, I think what I need is the string to be longer. So this is already coming loose here. Let's put the cap back on. Good boy. Okay. And we're gonna add on to the tape. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart. Because what I'm trying to do is make this arc not as intense. This looks better. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's better. Let's see what it looks like when I do that. Ooh, I didn't even draw yet. Oh boy. I have to hold that down real good. I don't even need it all the way over. Let's see what it's like. Isn't it? Let's see what it looks like. We can always erase it. Right? It's not perfectly in the center. I don't know why, because I measured from the center. Let's see here. Was my measurement wrong or something? Doesn't seem right. Hold on, we're gonna get this. Let's try this. How does this look? Uh-oh. Alright, that seems better. I gotta erase those other ones. Let's see what that one looks like. Now I need to kind of figure out how I want the happy to go. actually thinking, instead of making it like that, making it more of a, is that an arch? Where it's not, the letter is not all going this way, but they're kind of straight, but the tops are kind of cut off like the curve. You know what I mean? So I would need like a straight line. I'm gonna need my handy dandy level for. I'll use that tape for something else later. It's up too far. Let's try that again. Now I need to figure out the spaces for the letters. How big I want them. Let's measure that. I'm gonna use a yardstick for that because it's longer. It started on the end, but it doesn't. It's real precise now. Oh boy. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay, 36 and 17 and quarter. $36, 17, 30, no, 53 and a quarter. 53 and a quarter. How much margin do we want? I'll tell you right now, it's going to be something in 1/8. 5/8. Let's see. If we cut it down to 50, that would be 1.5 inches plus 1/8. So 1 inch and 5/8, right? Right? Fractions. 1 inch and 5/8. Let's measure that in. Mark it off right now before I forget. That is not probably, I'm gonna have to add something to that. I think that's not gonna work. But I like 50 because it was divisible by 5, but what isn't, right? What if we add on to that 5 more, which would give us 40? Let's see, how much is that? Let's see. This is looking pretty good, I think. 6. All right. So happy would be within here. And it's still a little small over here. Should I move it in a little more? Maybe another inch, 2. Well, if I did 40, then they would each be 8 inches, right? That's a lot. That's a big fat H. So let's move it in 5 more to 30. here and here. I know it's hard to see with my body in the way. It's hard for me to see too. Let's see if I can see back here. Happy that looks pretty good. All right, let's measure out those boxes then. HAPPY. And then we're just gonna make a line for all these that's level. The question is, do I want to do like a script-ish font? I don't know what to call it. Like make it slightly fancier. Like make the Y. What am I thinking? Or making things backwards. Maybe this is what I should use my Stabilo for. Sketchy and the letters and script backwards. I think I might need help with that. Or I'm gonna have to erase. Okay. Because it's gonna be bigger over here as well. It's not really marking anything, which is great. Well, let's see what that looks like when I sketch it in marker. I mean, I know this is a guideline, but whew. See, that's too big. Not like that. Of course, my phone ran out of memory, and my hair is starting to go crazy. Because, you know. But, finished the letters up here. I don't know, well, you can see them anyway. But I, penciled them in. Paint penned them in, whatever. Like the basic shapes that I want. And then when I go outside, I will do it. Just trying to figure out what color I want to make those. I think this is probably dry enough where I can do another round. Get a more finished look on the white. We'll see how that turns out, and then I'll do the yellow. Bring my second yellow that I have out there. You know what though? Before I go out there, I want to make an outline of the faces on the pumpkin so I can draw around it when I'm out there. Now I gotta remember what kind of faces I want to make. Well, this guy's kind of falling over, so I'm gonna make him go, oh no! This guy's angry because he's shaped weird, So he's gonna be like, "Arr." smirking a little. Like, haha, that guy's angry. This guy, he's a little baby. He's having the time of his life. Little sad pumpkin. Poor guy. He's a little sad, emotional. What else we got? This guy's tripping balls. You do you, buddy. Messed that up, didn't I? I did. I mean, he's tripping balls, but okay, guys, just kind of there, like blah. I need one more face. What do I want to do? I think I have an idea. Well, actually, I wanted to put. Maybe we'll give this guy a tooth. Because he's a baby and teeth are coming in. He's a different kind of angry than that guy. Like, he's trying to be scary. That guy's just angry. All right. I guess I can start working on the lettering for Happy. I'm trying to decide if I want to do orange with a black. Well, I'm doing 3D, so black with an orange shadow. Or do I want to do white? I might do white. I might. This is all prepped and ready. I might as well, right? Alright. So I know that was kind of cut off on this camera. What it looks like. I'm going to erase the inside now. Talk about slight arch, like very slight, but that's alright. It's what I wanted, sort of. I might, when I go and do this again, I might bring this down a little to kind of match with the Y that came down a little. The P's, I gotta do something about those. But other than that, it looks okay. Alright, so I think I might try again with the yellow and the white to do another coat. And then do the orange. Well, I have to wait for it to dry, I guess, the white and yellow. I can do the stems on the pumpkins. I can start the spider and the spider web on the sides. See how much we can get done today. Alright, so I'm going to try something with the white on the lettering for Halloween. I'm going to use a smaller Sharpie to fill in the spots. The white actually doesn't look that bad. The yellow does. Well, it doesn't look bad, but I mean, we'll see what we can do with that. But let's see how this will look if I fill in and kind of outline more defined the letters with this. All right, well, I'll tell you what I worked. So the small marker wasn't working very well. Went back to the big chisel. And you probably saw I got the tip really saturated and it was dripping a little bit, but it looks better on the outside. Most of the letters, this one's a little messed up. Yellow, I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. I'm just gonna do my best. I'll go do that now, work on the yellow. I'm gonna go do this. What was I going to use for that? This color here. Is this ready? Yes. It's nice and saturated. Good. I tried to keep the strokes consistent with the orange as much as possible. So it looks better than the yellow for sure. We'll see how I feel. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm probably not gonna do anything more with the letters today. I'm gonna see what it looks like later today or tomorrow with the yellow. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. Probably gonna leave it. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll erase the yellow and do that again. Welcome to day 3 of the mural. Just a recap of what it looked like on the inside. I haven't really done anything since then. So first thing I'm going to do is the pumpkins outside. So I'm going to do that. I might, even without coming back in, start on the fine-tuning the lettering. So I don't know. I don't know when we'll talk next. We'll see. Had a few bumps in the road, but pretty good on that. We'll do a final fine-tuning on the lettering, especially this, because this is still wet. Later. But, you know, I fixed the pumpkins eventually. Fixed the yellow. It looks a little better on the Halloween. I do want to do the inside of the pumpkins here. So I'll do that real quick. Especially the ones I redid. And then I'm going to start on the 3D on here. But let me do the pumpkins first. I think actually I'm going to wait on that because I have some, I didn't do the fine tuning on the rest of the pumpkins, and there's this one for sure I need to work on. So I'll do that when I do this, fine tuning on this, which will be later. So I guess I'll start on the 3D. All right, I'm gonna go look again. All right, so a little work to do on the yellow. The rest of it looks okay. I'm gonna fill in a little bit this way on the end and up. All right, it's good for now. I need fine tuning as usual. I'm gonna leave this for now, and then I'm gonna start on the side windows next. All right, so I'm gonna make a spider head out here because I'm actually gonna put the body back here. So it's coming out a little bit. So head somewhere on the window. I'll decide when I get out there. Then I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna put like eyes and a mouth and fangs on it. But that's after this dries. So we're gonna do that real quick. All right, now I'm gonna put body up here. Let that dry, maybe put another coat on. We'll see. I'm gonna put legs on eventually, but first I want to get the web in here, but I'm probably gonna start on the other window first for that. Think about this a minute. Because I might start this one in this corner and go up, and then that one down. I think I might need my stick. Good, let me see what it looks like from the outside. I probably have to make the lines thicker, would be my guess. I could leave them the way they are, but I think I want to thicken them up. That's good. It's more fibery, like a real web. Well, depends on the spider, I guess, doesn't it? Does look more realistic. One last look outside to see how that looks. Looks pretty good. Should probably put the spider legs in, at least the ones back here, first, before I do the web. But then again, I don't know where the spider legs are going to go according to the web. So maybe I should make the web first, at least that straight line, and then put put the legs in. Some of the legs are going to go outside too, so. And this web is going to be opposite. That one came from the bottom right corner. This one's going to come from the top left. All right. So then I want to make some legs here. Think about this. Probably want the ones in front out there. But it looked pretty good. I put the face on the spider. I need to let it dry a little more to get the white back on there because it kind of turned gray. But I will fix that afterwards. So I guess just gotta work on the spider or the web. All right, I finished the web and put a little more of a finishing touch on the spider's face, but I still need it to dry more, so I'm gonna wait for that till tomorrow. But I got the spiders, the web, I got the 3D on the lettering, got the pumpkins mostly fixed, got the happy mostly fixed. So I just have some finishing touches to do tomorrow, and I should be done. I'm gonna get all the stuff in the web tomorrow, and you know, put the web over it and stuff. Other than that, I'm just gonna give you a view. Well, it's the fourth and final day here on our mural. So today, the biggest part of what I have to do is I need to put all the things I want caught in the web on the web. And do that first for a couple reasons. One of them is I want them to dry before because I want the web to kind of go around it. So I'm going to put like a little bit of the gray color around it. So I want it to dry so I can do that later, or at least dry enough. And it's the thing that's going to probably take the longest, so I want to get it done first so I know how much time I have for the rest of the stuff. So other than general cleaning up and fine-tuning, I need to put the stems on the pumpkins, and I'm going to put a little more detail on the spider. I need to make the legs thicker for one thing, but I also want to put a little like hair on the spider. So I'm going to do that actually. I might do that first before I do the icons, or I might do the icons and then that. Doing that all first so I can get that dry so I can add the things to it on top. Chazzy's back. He wants to go outside. Trying to decide, and I think time will be a factor, whether or not I want to outline this happy. I mean, it's visible. I shouldn't have to. I was going to make a 3D thing originally with this, but it's just not going to work out the way I envisioned it. But I could make an outline on the back here in black that kind of gives it a little bit of a 3D look. I think I'll decide when I'm out there what I think it'll look like, and if I like it the way it is. I mean, all things considered, I could leave this the way it is now and be happy with it, but I want to add these things that I said I was going to add. There's a little bit more I need to do, like the stems. I mean, I might decide to do something else in the midst of things, we'll see. But I think we're doing pretty well here. I think we're almost done. Yeah, and spend the rest of the time just doing some fine tuning. A little bit of, like I know some of this, the 3D on here needs to be a little fine tuned, like I said. So, and then I'm also gonna make sure that all of these, the mouths and things are covered. It's cold again today, even colder than the last day I was working, which was 2 days ago. I skipped yesterday because it was cold yesterday and there were flurries in the forecast. I'm like, I don't think I want to be out there today. So I did a lot of editing yesterday. Glasses are fogging up. So It's really cold out there. I'm probably going to take lots of breaks inside. Well, anyway, I did the eyes and the fangs on the spider. You know what I didn't do though? The legs. I'm probably going to have to go out there and do that again real quick. But I made two things caught in the web so far. A little piece of candy and a ghost. I think I'm going to go out real quick and do those because I want them to dry. And next round when I go out there, I'll do the stems on the pumpkins. So for now, I'm going to warm up and do some fine tuning. That's why I brought my scraper in. Probably be easier to do that sometimes, especially if I'm making a straight line. Can you even tell the difference? Does it look better? All right, what do I want to do next? What do I want to put in the web? I need a witch's hat, a witch's broom, a bat. They're all black. Well, broom isn't. I didn't want to put any black on the spider part. I'm like, there's enough black there already. But a witch's hat and a bat are both black. I'm going to put a little color in the hat. Let's see if I can draw a bat like, you know, I think I learned last year. I got a ghost, a piece of candy, bat, witch's hat, witch's broom. What else is there? Is a simple thing I could put in the web. Like, I'm thinking Frankenstein. I can't put that in the web. At least not this year. Like zombie and werewolf and vampire. Those are all too big. I was thinking of doing candy corn too, but the letters are candy corn. That's why I did a different, maybe I'll put a different color piece of candy. Maybe a different shape. I don't know, what other shape does candy come in? Like general candy. Maybe a lollipop. Maybe that's what I'll do. I might go through Happy and do that. Because it's got some holes in it. Oh God, it's freezing. Whew. Try to do as many as I could out there so I don't have to keep going out. Oh, all right. So let all that dry for a bit. So these were a little tall when I went out there. So I want to quickly get that. So what I can work on in here is pumpkins. I didn't really take a good look at them. I mean, I think they're mostly okay. I just want to make sure that all the things are covered. I know this one, I do want to touch up on the outside. I keep forgetting about that. I'll do that when I go out again the last time, hopefully. I can work on the legs in here, on the spider. And then after that, and I get the web around the stuff on the web, I think I'm done. Gonna work on the spider legs in here. All right, fuzzy legs. It's like the fuzzy web. Proportions of these legs are not ideal. Not realistic. So I decided, it's a good thing I decided, to add like the shoulders of the spider coming out that way as well, because otherwise it was like the head that's on the bottom and the arms, but the rest of the body was stuck inside. It looked kind of funny. So anyway, it looks better now. All right, what do I need to do still? Pumpkins. I forgot to look at them again to make sure they looked all right. because I'm thinking about it now. I'm gonna go out, fine tune that pumpkin, and then I'll look at the rest of them, make sure they have a coverage. I mean, they're all fine. I could do a little more. It's just a matter of figuring out what marker I use to roll them. This one I think is that. This one I don't think is that bad. So I don't think I want to outline the lettering on Happy. I think it looked fine the way it is. I hesitate to do anything with anymore with the lettering, like outline it, because it looks fine the way it is. The only thing I'm looking at when I'm out there is I need like something else to put here in the web. So I gotta think of something. What else can I do? Bat, cat, ghost, candy, lollipop, witch's hat, witch's broom, witch's cauldron. Could have done, but now I have 3 witch things over here and a lot of black too, so I want something else. I have pumpkins here, so I don't want to put pumpkin. Let me do some research for a second. Coffin. An eyeball. I could do an eyeball. Just a random eyeball caught in the web. You know. A little candle. Like a candelabra kind of thing. What do you call those? That's kind of spooky. Gravestone I could do. I don't know why that would be caught in the web, but I don't know. I think eyeball is probably the best choice so far. I'm just gonna do the white work right now. Well, maybe I'll do the pupil. We'll do like a green. Use some green. Anyway, I thought this would be cute to have, like, I don't know if anyone's going to, but like the little kids come up and be like, oh, what's that? It's a lollipop and an eyeball in the web. What do you see? We'll see if anyone does. It's real bright green, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I need the black for a pupil. I mean, probably should do red, but I'm gonna do like red veins in it. So I'll do green, because I said we need some green. Okay, I will go do that. The main thing I want to do now is wait until the web is, or the things in the web are dry. And then just do a web over them. And I'm gonna add red to the eyeball as well. So that one's gonna take the longest to dry. So I'll go out, I think, one more time. Finish that up. Everything else should be good. I mean, I'll check when I'm out there. But that's gonna be a bit. I'm gonna let it dry for like an hour or so. All right, I'm ready to finish up. So I'm gonna start over on this side. Need to put eyes on my ghost over there, and then I need to do the web around those 2 things. Do one last look at the spider, make sure he's good, she's good, whatever. And then on this side, can't really see. I'm gonna have to back this up. Anyway, need to put red on the eyes, and then finish up with the web. But I also want to make the brim of the witch's hat a little bigger, because it looks a little funny. I don't know if that's going to help. We'll see. So let me back this up. Is that better? Can you see? All right. and get this done so I can come in here and warm up and be done. All right. Ooh. All right. I don't know how much my iPad captured because the video stopped, but I know I got the beginning of it. Might not have got when I was over there, but that's all right. I'll get a nice picture of it. Okay. I'm gonna go get that table in. Chazzy's leash that's out there. And I'm gonna take a picture, a couple pictures. All right, everyone. That is going to do it for this week's video. Stay tuned until the very end. I've got some bonus footage and sneak peeks for you. But first, I want to thank you, yes you, for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you found it to be helpful, use those buttons. If you want to see more, you can follow Shrush Design on social media. The links are all in the description. And if you would like to browse my online shops, I have 2 Etsy shops and a Fiverr account, also listed below. If you are local to southeastern Wisconsin, I have even more services available, so you'll want to check out my website for that information. But wait, there's more! If you happen to be planning a wedding in the near future, I have another YouTube channel called Shrush Design Weddings, through which I discuss all of the choices you'll have while planning your wedding. And I also have another channel called Poised Pencraft, through which I teach the art of lettering, calligraphy, and some graphic design skills if you want to learn how to create your own designs from scratch and make each project truly your own. Links for both of those channels are, you guessed it, in the description. So if you're all subscribed now and ready for next week's video, I'll see you then. For now though, I'll leave you with the bonus footage and sneak peeks. Enjoy! Okay, I have a little bit of bonus footage this week. As usual, some Chaz stuff, Assistant Chaz, and then some outtakes. I do have the extended deer clip from earlier, and then I do have a turkey clip as well from when I was cleaning the mural. There were turkeys in my yard as well, so I have some of that in there. So enjoy. You're a bullet job. But I have to have a spider because Mr. Shrush, as he likes to be called now, that's the nickname he gave himself. Mr. Shrush doesn't like spiders, so obviously I have to put spiders on the window, and I have to have spiders outside, like, you know, fake Halloween spiders. I have 2 big ones that I have to put outside every year. Well, last year was the first time I had 2. I used to only have 1. Now I have 2, and then I have another one on the window this year. So, oh wait, I think I'm also making a small sign with a spider on it too. So that's another spider. That's 4. 4. So, I mean, you gotta have 4 spiders. So obviously I have to have 4. Because I have to make up for the year where I only had, the 2 years where I only had 1 spider. Because I wasn't going up every year. It was 1 spider, 2 spiders, and this year's 4 spiders because I have to make up time. That's how I justify it. You see those deer? I haven't seen the deer for a while. We have deer come through here a bunch. I thought there were dogs at first in my yard. I'm like, what are those doing there? It's deer. Here, let me show you a little bit more. Can you see? Normally it's turkeys that come into my yard, but there are deer sometimes too. Oh, here comes another deer. where there's one, there's always more. Oh, another one. That's 4. I don't know how many we're going to see. Oh, 5. They're probably the ones that were eating all my tomatoes in the backyard. Never saw them, no. Do we have 6? Want to take any bets? I don't see any more, but that doesn't mean anything yet. Might be another one pop up. Remember last year when I thought I didn't have enough orange to finish the pumpkins? And there's more. This is just what I'm taking out now. Alright, so I need something. Please, please, Chazzy. This is still going. I didn't shut this off. And then for sneak peeks, I want to keep this real short because this video is long. Next week, I'm going to be doing my intro into who I am and what Shrush Design is. So that is the 9th of November. On the 16th of November, the next week after that, I am going to be releasing a video of me making homemade painted labels for a lot of things in my house. Some of it's kind of signage as well. So things I've wanted to do for a while that I've never done, so it's a good way for me to be accountable and do them, is make a video about it. I do have more things I want to do than what's going to be in this video, so there might be a part 2 of that coming at some point, probably next year. So that's the 16th. Is November 23rd is going to be my pantry mural that I've been mentioning. I have made a little bit more progress on that. I have finalized the design that I want. So I will be starting on that soon. If you're interested in that and want some sneak peeks, even more sneak peeks, well, there'll be some in the upcoming videos, but also you'll want to follow me on social media because I'll be posting things about it there. Also, make sure you check the stories because a lot of it ends up there. And that's all I'm going to say for now. December is going to be full of Christmas and holiday stuff. So I will see you next week with my intro video. Bye.